Yes.
Well,
All right, man. So I was just sending Chris in here. Hey, Glenn, how you doing, homie?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you well.
yeah, we got you. How you doing, Glenn?
Sweet. Yeah, all good. You guys? All cool?
Yeah,
As well as can be.
On this gloomy day in England.
Oh, mate, it's cold this morning where I am. It's like 3.5 degrees, and it's 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't feel so bad now then. It's not too bad here. Oops. Is Chris here? He said he was getting in.
Yeah, he's here. I've just directed him to the room.
To the warehouse. I can't hear the music. Where's the music?
You should find it. How you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's so busy and stuff. I know there's been so much going on, isn't there? It's been crazy. I've had a vast amount of time to check in too much, but I've been looking here and there and keeping an eye on the emails and things and doing some tweets and whatnot.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Yeah, it's all building. That's good.
Yeah, it's coming along nicely. We sort of taking it all pretty organic, really, and letting people get time to understand everything, because it's still a bit of a head fuck for some people.
I know, me included. But, but no, it is definitely that. I think the organic route is best, just to build it, steadily, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because a lot of the music people, and especially English people, we're not up to that on the NFT things yet,
Yeah, exactly. So people need to digest it a bit more and probably a bit longer before they sort of dip their toes in it or dip their feet in it. And here's Chris now. Chris,
is he in?
Here he is.
All right, awesome.
Can you hear me?
G'day, Chris. Yeah, we got you.
Man.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You've gone a bit quiet. If I use headphones, you still going to be able to hear me using my mic on my phone? Do you reckon?
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Trav?
Just once the mic was active, the level went right down. So I'm just going to grab some headphones.
Ah, yeah, I know that one.
Everyone all right? Anyway.
Yeah, all good.
All good here.
All good here.
Good.
Dropping music on the avatars all day. I just suddenly realised how late it was.
There we go. That's much better. There we go. I can hear you properly now.
Cool.
Cool. Right, everyone. Well, yeah, welcome to today's Meet the Artists. If you haven't noticed, we're here with the Future Funk Squad,
Hello.
who have a few of the NFTs in the collection. So what we'll do is we'll start with you guys. Maybe give us a little bit of background on what Future Funk Squad is and how it came to be.
Oh God, I haven't got 4 hours. I've only got about. That's a long one. It started about pretty much 2000 exactly, and I accidentally got into breakbeat I was making drum and bass at the time, and accidentally hit a button on Cubase on the Atari ST. That's how old school it was, and it went from 170 to like 140. So I accidentally fell into breakbeat, new school breaks, and the rest is history. Pretty much. Been making it for that long, and making lots of tunes, remixes, and DJing all around the world. Not so much these days. I prefer my bed, and the studio. But that's pretty much what I do.
For anyone that doesn't know, Cubase is a production software used in digital audio workstations, and usually when someone says Cubase, I know that they've been around a little while because these days it's Ableton and Pro Tools, which are the software platforms of choice.
And Logic,
yeah. I mean, I think Cubase is still used quite a lot in the scoring world, which I sort of dabble in. So I use a little bit of it in that. Yeah, I mainly use Logic in that these days.
Mm-hmm. And Chris, gonna drop us a bit about how you got into all this madness?
Well, kind of gradually, bit by bit. I was kind of working in studios initially, and I did that because I couldn't really afford my own gear, because this was like the late 90s and it was just really expensive. You could just buy a laptop and fill it with plugins. So, and I was interested in recording and production, so I was working in recording studios and just picking up whatever I could, and then eventually got my hands on an MPC, and I had an MPC, which is just like it's a sampler, basically a sampler drum machine, and it's got no sounds in it. But I had records, so I just started chopping up the records in the sampler, and I wasn't really planning to do breakbeat in inverted commas to start with, but it sort of gradually morphed into that, and some people heard what I was doing and suggested pass it over to one or two labels that were kind of involved in that scene, and yeah, they liked it. So yeah, it's not something that I was really aware of, really, like as a scene, but I just kind of kind of found myself sort of just doing it, a bit like Glenn, really, a bit kind of semi by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one, man. The breaks thing is, God help us, it's such a small thing. It never ever blows up enough, but it's always, I don't know, always present. And I just think, more people need to hear it a bit sometimes. That's a bit of a problem with it. Like,
well, I think it's because it's so diverse. Like, it's really broad range of different stuff that you hear, which is classified as breaks or breakbeat, which means that I think a lot of people don't really know what it is. If you say, they say, "What do you do?" and you say, "Oh, I do breakbeat," and they kind of, right, okay. Well, if you said, "Oh, I do minimal techno," or "I do liquid drum and bass," or something like that, they think, "Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about." But you say breakbeat, and it's like, well, what is it? Kind of sort of like chill out music or down tempo stuff, or sort of hip hop sampled stuff, or is it, there's or is it kind of party music? There's a really broad range of stuff, and one of the things that I don't think used to help, like when this scene was at its peak, kind of 2000s, mid 2000s, something like that, you had all these people that were making music, supposedly making breakbeat, and they didn't really sound like each other. And they all kind of got lumped in together under the same banner. And really the only thing that they had in common was that they were making music that was about 130 BPM, give or take. And it was designed for clubs and it was designed for DJs. But, some of it was like quite gnarly and quite moody. Some of it was like quite cheesy party music. And, it was pretty broad range, really. So I think that might be why it never quite blew up, because it was hard to define exactly what it was.
I think we should have just simply called it EDM, and we'd be really rich now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that didn't quite work, did it? No, I'm joking.
No, I remember when we went to when we done Fat Land and Madonna's label and all that. Maverick wanted to sign us, and that they literally took us over there in it. We were touring an interview, walked in and that, yeah, we're going to give electronica 6 to 8 months, and if that don't work, it don't work. And we were sort of looking at each other, what's electronica? What you do? It's like, so you come up with a new name for it already.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's another name that could mean so many different things, Just like, I think a lot of music is categorized by its character. Like, it's the kind of the people that gravitate towards it is because it's quite sort of it's nice kind of happy music, or it's quite dark and it's quite twisted kind of music. And you say something like electronica and it's like, well, it could be one end of that or it could be the other. So it's a bit like breakbeat. It could mean a lot of different things, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. Interesting.
Well, that was my take on it anyway. Because I think what I was doing didn't really fit that comfortably around what other people were doing. So maybe that was just that's how it seemed to me. I don't know if it's true for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. See, again, I think for me, it's always been my favourite style of music because overall, really, because you can put anything in there. You know, you can play techno tracks with it. You can play house. You can play like the old rave when it really started in the early rave days, the early 90s. You know, they're mixing Young MC and the Orb and, you know, acid house and techno, and it all went together. And that's the only thing that kind of really I find really frustrating is the amount of DJs that don't, you know, not so much obviously breakbeat, but the sort of techno or the 4/4 beat masters, where I just think, man, you know, it's your job to kind of educate people as well when you're playing music, you know. And when I hear a 4/4 drum for more than 2 hours, it just sends me to sleep. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just
I
like
agree.
hypnotising, you know. It's like it actually sucks the energy out of me.
Mm.
You know, it's just like, man, a monkey can dance to that. You know, it's the most simplest form of music on the planet. Yeah, I get that. That's why everyone can understand it, because everyone can march or walk. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I think that's one of the things that really frustrates me about it. It really, really frustrates me because it's kind of like if they're mixing at exactly the same tempo and it just makes it sound like one continual mix for 2 or 3 hours with no dynamics, it just does my nut in. But you know, I get the same, I suppose, with drum and bass as well. If I hear that for more than 2 or 3 hours, it can do my nut in a bit. Breaks, I suppose, is the only one that really I can stomach all night, because you can put anything in there, like you say, and the atmosphere can go from hard to soft to piano, uppy stuff, you know, whatever you want, just drum and bass, ragga stuff. There's such a good choice of that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I'm the same. I can't handle 2 hours of something continuous without variation, and that's just like one set. So if you put 3 sets back to back and it's all people playing the same kind of stuff, then that's 6 hours of eventually it kind of, you sort of tune it out, because if there's no variation and it's not going to change, you stop really kind of focusing on it and listening to it. Like it just becomes kind of a background noise, really, which is maybe that's fair enough. Maybe a lot of people, they're going out to just have a good time, meet other people, party, whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's a wrong or right. It's each to their own, isn't it? You know, of course. But I think that when people like, what's breakbeat, or when they haven't heard anything, I think, man, where have you been? You know, it's kind of like, to me, that's like another tour story. We went to Dallas and we went into this little restaurant, the Wendy's it was, or Denny's or something, for some grub, and the waitress come up and she said, "Yo, where's y'all from?" And we're like, "We're from England." "Y'all ain't from round here, is ye?" This, we're like, no. And they're like, "What you doing here?" We're like, "Well, we're a band." What kind of music are you? Like electronic dance music? She's just shaking her head, no idea. You know, she's quite young and that, and I'm like, techno? And she's like, no. You're thinking, crikey, if anyone's going to know anything about, you know, electronic music, if you say techno, then surely they're going to get it. And she's like, no. She's I only listen to 2 kinds of music. I only listen to country and Christian music. And I was like, fucking hell. In my head, I was like, man, you know, one style of music, 2 styles of music. People, I find it really kind of strange that people can only listen to one style of music. Even dance music, you know, I think, man, don't you want to branch out and find out what's out there, you know what I mean? Get stimulated by something else. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. But I think the thing is that it's the role that music plays in different people's lives is not always the same. Like, basically, you're someone who's really interested in music just for the sake of music. So that, you know, like I am, basically a bit of a muso. I like all of it. I think it's all really interesting, and I've listened to everything at some point in my life and learned stuff from it, and still do. But other people aren't musos, so music has a function in their life, but it's not like for itself. It's just sort of like part of what It's like they hear it when they're socializing, or they hear it on the radio in the morning, or it's just kind of there in the background, or it's who they are. It's like, oh, I've got a group of friends, or I'm part of a scene, or this is the way I dress, or this is the way I talk. And that defines the music that they listen to, because that's part of their identity and who they are. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Didn't we get chased out of a club in Dallas?
I was just going to say, it's really funny you should mention Dallas. Yeah, it's really funny you should mention Dallas, because massive coincidence. I was going through a box of flyers last night. This is absolutely true. But flyers have been in this box for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and it's not been opened. And someone's asked me to do a little bit of promo. They said, dig out some old flyers, dig out some old reviews. I'm doing some remasters of old stuff. So I thought, okay, right, we'll find some old flyers. And there is a lot of flyers there for gigs that I have no memory of whatsoever. But there are others that I'd see the flyer and think, oh, and suddenly, like, just a couple of things that come back. And I found the one from Dallas for you and me. And I'd totally forgotten that we were ever in Dallas together. And then, oh boy, yeah, that was.
I can't quite remember what happened, but I do sort of recall just the guy, the promoter, was like, "We got to get out of here quick." We didn't even get paid, I think. So.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. There was nothing rowdy going on.
I don't think there were many people there, and I think
they didn't like it, did they? I think that was probably the people that Leroy met, and they were just like, "What the fuck's this stuff?" You know what I mean?
But I think we were a bit leery. I think we'd had a few drinks, and I think we were just making merry, and we were noticed. So
Rusty Muffler tour, great days.
Yeah, living the breakbeat dream.
That's it. It was the breakbeat dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Traveling around America, visiting record stores.
Yeah, exactly. That was that. The thing is, digging these flyers out and finding flyers from places like Charlotte and Atlanta, North Carolina. Some stuff on the West Coast, like LA, San Francisco, and all over the place, like Portland, Richmond. There were these tiny little pockets of people, like you say, Leroy. Most people at that time from that place, they wouldn't have even heard of what we were playing. They would have just sounded like they wouldn't have been able to get their heads around it at all. But you just found these tiny little pockets of people, and they were really into it. So you'd go there, really passionate. You'd go there, and you'd meet sort of a group of people, and you'd go back 12 months later, and you'd see the same people, which was nice because you kind of get to know them a little bit, and it was nice to know that they were interested and so on. But yeah, it was quite a kind of little niche.
Yeah, man, for sure. For sure. We're still in a little niche now, boys, in this one.
Yeah.
A new world. How did you come across the word NFT, or the letters NFT, should I say? Did you know about them before I sort of give you a shout, did you?
I've sort of been, I've been sort of into crypto for a little while, and then it's sort of been on my radar, but I've not sort of fully understood it, and I just I just sort of did think about the whole why is it artwork and not music in some ways when I first sort of was reading up on it, but yeah, no, I just didn't look that much further until Jim gave me a shout, and and then you filled me in on the stuff.
Yeah, I think it's that like you were saying about why isn't it music? I still think that's a long way off. Of being sorted out, unless you're like a massive artist that's got 3, 4, 5 million following and stuff. You can do what you want in that regards, but there's still so much to understand about it. If you start to think, I'm going to put an EP out, then give it away as an NFT. How does publishing come into it? Because we're always trying to collect scraps from every angle, from PPL to PRS to publishing deals and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of that stuff isn't really connected in here yet.
Great. you. Yeah.
You know, on how to get it collected. If you're doing limited amounts of the things, they're more valuable to the collector. But obviously, you're not going to put public publishing on there if you're giving them the IPs and stuff like that. So I think it's still quite a way off becoming the norm just to put your music out as an NFT. If you're an individual artist like any of us, you know, I think it's still real hard work.
Yeah, how did you guys get into the Metabeats project? Like, how did that connection happen?
Yeah, Chris, did you know about the NFT space and that beforehand?
Not really, no. And to be honest, it was kind of a chance conversation that I had with Glenn. And Glenn was already involved, and I can't remember what we were talking about, Glenn, but we hadn't spoken for quite a long time. And I had something that I needed to ask you, and I rang you up, and we just got chatting, and you started telling me about it, and I'd heard of NFTs, but only as kind of visual art. And yeah, that's why I'm on this conversation now. Really, it was just because of that chance conversation we had then.
Buzzing to have a couple more lonely breakbeat guys in here with me. Everyone else is like, we've got loads of techno, drum and bass, and house and stuff.
Yeah, which is, and I think that's you know, I think that's about that sort of proportion represents probably what people are, most people are going to gravitate towards potentially. But I think it's really good to have that diversity in there for the people that are interested in other things as well.
Oh, you've got to. I mean, that's, again, to me, that's what it's all about, different flavours and stuff, you know, and everyone's got something to bring to this. And the Discord room, this for me is still at the moment the most important thing, because I feel like we can do some DJ. Everyone's DJing. We've got Rick to doing it. I can do a set. If you guys ever want to do it, you know, just let us know. But I want people to discover everyone's back catalogue, hear some DJ sets from music from the early 90s, and make it a place to educate people about all different styles of music as well. And like, oh man, let's go in there and let's have a listen to what everyone's up to. So like I said, guys, always post if you got releases or gigs you want to put. We've got the rooms on the left hand side, the rider and artist feed and stuff like that. So always put any news you got going on in there, because I want everyone, it's not just about this Metabeats thing. Like I say, I'm trying to build a community where, you know, all my fans will come and find all of your fans and listen to what you're doing and support you guys and that, you know. That's just feel like that we're missing, apart from personal contacts like, you know, with Jim and you guys together. It just didn't feel like anyone's helps each other anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's really hard work in the music business. Everyone's like trying to get the same jobs, and you know, oh yeah, I've got so much work I can't do it all. You know, doing movie scores and that. Hello, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, I think maybe people are, because so much is done online now rather than face to face. I think you get more of a sort of disconnection between people. I'm only, this is how it seems to me. I don't know. I think if you think about how it was 20 years ago, there was so much more that happened when you were face to face with people, and that meant that there was more of a reason to actually be in a place where other people were, so that you would have those conversations and things would happen. And you get those kind of chance
contacts.
Yeah, exactly. Think, you know, you just meet someone you didn't know you were going to meet them, and something can come out of that. But I think now, if you're going to be sort of spending your time online, maybe you don't make the same connection in quite the same way. I don't know. I mean, it's funny because in theory you can meet anybody. It's so much easier to meet anybody, but you're not meeting them in quite the same way, are you?
No. I think this is, to be fair, I wasn't really following Twitter. I've always had it. I've always shared to it, but it wasn't my go-to kind of app, if you know I will. But since I've been sort of into this NFT thing and the Web3 space and everything, I do find that there's some really, really amazing communities like that that are all connecting. And you know, if they have one NFT in common, you can go into that Discord chat and there'll be, you know, like the yellow pages where everyone puts what they do in there. You know, I'm an artist, you know, I'm a painter, I'm a electrician, whatever. And then you start seeing all these people asking where they are, and they all start hooking up and meeting if they're in the same area. And man, it has really, really sort of like raised my hopes of being online, to be honest with you, because I'm not really I hate social media, having to do it. You know, I felt like Facebook or Askbook, I've never liked that. Instagram I didn't mind because it was a quick snap, you're out and about, and it's kind of live. Facebook I always thought, oh right, what have I got to put today? I've got to make out I'm doing something interesting, and I don't know, it just, all of it I didn't like. But in this space I really like it, because if you see someone's work that you like and you comment on it or engage with them, they normally get back to you, and you can make them connections with people that are in your field or slightly different fields, because it seems people are really open-minded to chat with you, you know, and oh hi, yeah man, I'm glad you like my stuff, that's really cool, you know. And I've got a couple of collaborations coming on, and one for the Metabeats team for you guys as well, with some other NFT companies, and it just feels like that. There's a freedom again here. It's a bit of a underground movement. It's all new, and people are kind of pulling together in small groups to go into this space with a bit of support, because we all need support through life, whatever we're doing anyway. And it's honestly, the more you get into it, the more you'll notice it. Of course, there's scams going on, but in general, there's some really vibing people in this space. Really, really vibing. It's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, that sounds. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say, like back in I guess it was early 2000s, wasn't it? There was like, you know, when all the forums were the online forums. There was one called New School Breaks, and an American one as well. I can't remember the names, just gone out of my head, but they were really cool for meeting people. And then there would be a lot of events posted there, similar kind of vibe in a way. And that was a good time. That was early days on the internet as well. So, but that was quite cool.
Yeah, I think this is a land for pretty similar kind of vibe, you know. L Double has got his own channel set up as well. He's got 500 people in there, and you know, he's buzzing. He's well ahead of me on it in terms of the social side of Discord and that, and he's doing live events, streaming, and he swears by it. He's loving it. He says, you know, it's kind of invigorated him again, because there is an audience. And at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, you know, we play music, we create, and we want to share it. The last 2 years have been pretty fucked up in respect from that. I even found it hard to think about writing, you know, dance music, if you will, DJ music, because I couldn't go out and test it and play it in front of people. So it was kind of, no one's DJing. What's the point of me trying to write DJ music? So
it was a very bleak time, wasn't it? I mean, I just sort of wrote some really experimental stuff then, just for the sake of doing it, you know, rather than thinking about club music, for sure.
Yeah, it was the same.
Did you find yourself doing a lot more remixes?
But there wasn't nothing to remix. That's just the point.
There wasn't. Everyone, it went flat, didn't it, for a good 6 months, really, all around. I mean, I just started a label with Frankie Scarlett, who's in here, and we were just sort of like, is it a great time, or is it a good time or a bad time? You know, it was just so much uncertainty in that, you know, and so we ended up making loads of music, and then in the end we were just like, oh, I don't know what we're going to do here. And so, you know, took some time out of that, and now things are kicking off again. We're getting back into it and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, because it weren't even that you didn't have the audience. It was like everyone was in the same boat. They didn't have money working. They couldn't just keep on spending, and it was, the whole world was just kind of on chill out, weren't it? You know, you couldn't do anything 100% creatively, knowing that you're going to do anything with it at the end of the day. I mean, it was really, really strange. The thing that saved me, to be fair, was Bandcamp over them 2 years, because I was just writing, again, not DJ music, hip hop, funk, disco, like all sorts of everything I liked, and I was just putting them out on Bandcamp. And if it hadn't have been for that, I don't know what the hell I would know.
Yeah, you had a reason to make stuff and get it out there. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've done with Spotify and all that anyway. I mean, I don't put music out as much as you guys do and that anyway, you know. But I was like, oh, you know what? I've had enough. I'd rather not bother, because it insults me to accept what the charity or the crumbs they throw out to me. So I'd rather not bother that. I mean, that's a personal decision, and you know, so some people are, well, you're not going to people with then, are you? I don't care. I'd rather feel like I get a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. And you know, when I have to keep going up there and updating the header and all the page and everything just for them to make money, what the fuck am I doing this for? So I'd had enough of that, and Bandcamp was the first step to freedom, I think, for a lot of us guys, you know, and actually selling a track and getting the money in your account like the next day or 2 days later, instead of waiting 3 years from a record label and stuff to find out what you're earning. And that, for me, that was the first part of the freedom. And this bit here is the next level, to be able to own what you do and visually see everything transparently, every move. Even if it's from a record label, you can see every move that's made with your music, and that's freedom, man. That's all you can ask for. No one to steal or put it in the back pocket without you seeing it. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, I'm
definitely.
just on the verge of trying to get a Bandcamp thing set up, because it's only like very, very recently. I didn't do anything for a little while, well, for quite a long while. So didn't have anything on Spotify. Had a few scraggy things on Beatport that were kind of a bit of a mess. Not sometimes not even to the right Chris Carter, to other Chris Carters, or some of my music was under a different Chris Carter's name. It really was a mess. And because I hadn't really done anything for a little while, and I wasn't sure when I was going to get around to doing it again, I just sort of left it. But now that I really kind of feel like, well, why am I? You know, I'm doing stuff now, so I needed to tidy it up. But now that's kind of sorted out, I can see that actually you really want to be on Bandcamp. That's the impression that I'm getting now, because you, like you say, you've got that direct connection. So I'm just about to try and make that happen, so that whenever I have got anything new, I'll probably be hoping most of the energy around it comes from something like that, or this, you know, if this is something that continues to develop.
Yeah, man, for sure. That's honestly, that's the way forward. And man, I in the 2 years in Bandcamp, I earned more money in releasing 2 albums on there than I've ever seen in royalties in one hit from like a record label or anything, you know. And it's just like, mate, why? If I could sell 100 tracks, right, and earn a bit of money, the same amount that I could do from selling 10,000 of the fuckers because of a record label, it's a no-brainer. You don't need 1 million fans. You just need a real solid fan base, you know, and you get 80-90% of the money, you know, so instead of 20% of it. So it's a no-brainer, man. Bandcamp and stuff like that, you can put what the value you want on it, you know, the cost of it, the price of it. You can get vinyl pressed up on there. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, you know, and it's another inspirational thing that at some point down the line we can do with Metabeats, all of them things. This is the beauty of this, is the fact that it's still the music business. It's just a different medium, a different platform for it, you know. And being, as I said, that everything's transparent on the blockchain, you know, for you guys and that's just what you want, man. When you're selling loads, or you know, putting out tracks and getting lots of attention from them, you want to be able to see where they're going. So yeah, it's really exciting times, man. Definitely get Bandcamp set up. That's wicked.
And are you set up on Bandcamp, Glenn?
Well, I've got a Bandcamp story. I set up on there a long time ago, a long time ago, and I've sold lots of CDs on there and some vinyl runs and stuff. And then I sort of did this what I call a remix series, which was kind of some, I guess, bootlegs in some ways. And I had about 4 or 5 thousand followers on there or whatever, and yeah, and literally one day I woke up because I put some of these things out, and they literally just pulled the plug on the whole thing.
Bootlegs on
So
there,
yeah, so that was a bit annoying, really. And I'm thinking, do I gradually build it up again? I mean, I guess I'm going to have to, but it's been quite a struggle to get back because I mean, I think I did download the mailing list about 2 years ago or something,
yeah.
which I
Again,
wish I'd done sooner.
oh man, there's so many mediums now. I mean, website, it's totally how you want to do it. Put the shop in your website and do it through
Yeah.
that way. It's totally, no percentages at all there. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot more freedom out there for all of us to exploit and stuff. So, mate, you wait till you really get your head into this NFT thing. The ideas you can come up with for your label, for your releases, attaching things to your gigs, your merchandise. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. It's just what you can think of is the only boundaries.
Yeah, I really like the idea that there's some branch of what you're doing which is going somewhere else, and it's different. It's in a different format, but if you were playing a DJ set, you could still be dropping those in there, but probably in a slightly different format, structure kind of thing. But you've still taken the basic idea and you've just reworked it so that you can mix in and out of it and so on. So I think it's quite nice because what you're going to be doing as NFTs, it's separate, but you can still link it into the other strands of what you're doing. So I think it's going to be quite nice to have another outlet.
Yeah. And how did you find the writing process, guys, of doing the sort of short loops?
I really liked it. I found myself working really quickly. I suppose because there was a deadline as well, but I found I was really productive, and it was really good not to have the luxury of too much time to work on it, but also to say, right, you've got a maximum of 90 seconds or whatever. So you've got a target to aim for, and you hit the target and you say, right, that works. Whereas when it's completely open-ended, you can do anything. Sometimes too much freedom is a problem because you sit there pondering it a bit too long, whereas you could just say, right, there you go, that works, leave it and move on to the next one. So I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Did you work within the breakbeat style, or did you do something outside your normal
I
canon?
did a mixture. Some of it was breakbeat. Some of it was kind of like 4/4 breakbeat. Some of it was quite choppy, broken up breakbeat. Some of it was like down tempo stuff. There was some kind of stuff without beats there that was just sort of like atmospheres. There was a couple of bits that were more sort of like dramatic, almost like sort of documentary type drama type stuff. So I did a bit of a mixture.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, guys. You wait to hear it, man. All the music is gonna blow you away when you hear it all. It's amazing. Honestly, every single person has blown me away with this music they've given us. What about you, Glenn? How did you find doing the short loops? I know you do score stuff as well, anyway.
Yeah, short cues and whatever, and also like doing library stuff in the past. You sort of have that kind of 30-second, 1 minute thing sometimes, and so yeah, I same as Chris, really, just a lot of fun with it because it's it was quite straightforward and but a lot of fun. Like you said, when you're making a full track, you can get lost in the intro and then you don't know where you're going to go and you get stuck in the breakdown and all that malarkey. But there's still a condensed flow, and it just comes together really quickly. Yeah, lots of fun, loads of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think in about 90 seconds, you've got enough time for for sort of two ideas, and the fact that it's looping round, or sort of like two levels maybe, or two sections, and as long as one goes into the other and then the second one comes back round into the first, but it feels that it works in that loop. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that
was just sort of different, because otherwise you're always thinking of an arrangement in a kind of linear way, like it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. But it's quite nice to not have to do that and just say, yeah, this rolls nicely. This could just keep going, but you don't want to only hear that, so you keep chopping between the other section and alternating between those two. And yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I've done a couple of collabs with people. Do you want to do the beat or the sounds? That's it. You know what I mean? It's like,
nice.
I'll just send you a beat, okay? Yeah, cool. Because, that's it. There's so minimal elements in it. I couldn't write a beat and a sound and send it to you. So what do you want me to do now? You know what I mean? Put a crash on it?
Kick roll, snare roll.
Yeah. Leave me some space if you're going to do a collab. So that was a strange thing as well, because it, again, being so short. But I tell you what, really, when you actually hear them, you hear Jim Davis and Kieran Pepper's tracks, and even Tim Hutton, to be fair, because they're all such proper musos with all different instruments and that. Mate, I don't know how they get so much stuff in such a short period of time. It must just pick up an instrument and jam, and I'm going to do a little key change. One bar, do back. You're like, man, they do so much in that little time period. Mate, you wait to hear.
I think with Jim, because he does a lot of stuff for like Extreme and that, doesn't he? And it's he's so used to just throwing so many ideas into and different genres and stuff. He's in his element there, I would imagine.
Yeah. You can just hear this thing though, where Kieran as well with his drums. He done a few of them with live drums, and not just that you literally copy and paste everything, but like you just listen to it. It's like, hell, man. And I kept having to drop them into Ableton or whatever to see what the tempo was, and it seemed like that there's a few of them. Tim, especially Tim Hutton, a lot of his were all at the same sort of tempo. Worked out his pattern that he could get so much in after at a certain speed and length. That was another thing with obviously the tempo. If you're going a lot faster, you can make more happen, can't you? Obviously, in that time frame.
Nice, yeah.
I was doing some things with 2 and 4 bar loop, 2 and 4 bars, not working at 8s or nothing, because it's so short. And then when you hear the Damskis were 3 to the 4 timing in waltz.
Oh, nice! I look forward to hearing them.
Yeah. I wasn't too much of a buzz when I had to put the avatar time the avatars to the music.
Yeah, you're like, damn you.
Trav, have we got any questions from anyone?
Yeah, we've got a few. I thought we could hack away at those now. I think the first two, Leroy, are pretty well aimed at you, and we should be able to get through them pretty quick because it's something we've talking about before. But it would be fun. If I'm not mistaken, the artist list is full for this collection. What if more artists turn up to work with Metabeats? Will there be a secondary collection? Do you guys keep building from the first one?
Yes,
so I guess,
sure.
Yeah, there'll be more artists to come in the second Genesis.
Yeah, for sure. I've already got other artists who want to get on board now, and I'm sure there'll be a few artists who don't want to do the second drop as well. But yeah, it's for sure, and there'll be some unknown artists as well. I want to give away some spots in the second drop for new producers and some opportunities for people to do tracks with some of us guys to come in and tease to go in their collection and stuff. So yeah, I've always said I've been sort of trying to communicate with 54 people to get it all set up. Kind of new experience in my life, nothing I can't handle, but the thought of trying to do it with over 100, is a bit more than my brain can kind of comprehend. So I want to keep it small and cool. That's what I want, you know. I want it to be people I know, people with no egos. I had to f some people off before it even started who are well known, but they didn't want to play the game and thought they were a bit too special and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm sorry, man. Your space has gone now. I don't want you around. So there's.
You told Deadmau5 where to go.
Well, Deadmau5 didn't have nothing to do with him, but someone did say to me about Steve Aoki. I know somebody knows. Going to punch him in the fucking face then if he knows him that well. No, but you know, it's like then people don't need to be near this. They don't need to be near this. You know, they're not underground and cool in my eyes. They're not the sort of people. You know, he might be a really nice guy. Good luck to him, but I don't really buzz about what he does musically and stuff. So that's fair enough. But I don't want someone who don't need to do it. Who's going to be like, oh, his managers. Yeah, he'll come in and talk on the Discord in October for 10 minutes. You know,
yeah.
You know, if you want to be part of it, be part of it. That's I'm trying to make something that's kind of a fun place to be as well. As you know, we all want to earn money, but I want it to be a thing that's so fucking cool that to own one is super cool. You know, to be part of the group, to have a chance to come in here and DJ, to have a chance to get your music in the project. You know, and again, Glenn's got a label. You know, there's so many people with record labels, group, Mickey Finn, all these sort of people. So, you know, we were talking about ideas, Glenn, of things like, you know, if a label take T's, make them full length and release it as an album, and if you own one of them NFTs, you get royalties from it forever, you know.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying about the sort of utilities you can attach to this, the things you can offer people to get their money back, the value of what they've got back, and bring money to the record label for support. This is what I want. I want it to be just a place of sharing and helping each other make money and helping each other career get off the starting block. Everyone has to start somewhere, don't they? We all have. So, you know, it's honestly, I'd get things where I'm like, you ask people to share that post for us. Oh, yeah, I don't know, you know, don't really normally do things like that. What, share posts for your mates? Yeah, okay, forget it. Yeah, forget it. Okay, I forgot our friendship's got so fucking strained over the years. You won't share a post for me. You know, all that shit. I'm like tired of it, man. I'm really, really tired of it. It's kind of like, man, what harm does it do to give someone a little fucking help for if they've got a new album or something coming out, or, you know, share it, let other people know about it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you touched a little bit there on, you know, the additional like utility for the NFT, like, you know, from artist to artist. So yeah, it would be fun. Had a second question about you know, what kind of utility would an artist add to, like, you know, the NFT. So I guess for Future Funk Squad, like, have you thought of like what kind of benefits you might offer to your holders, like you know, like put them on the door for a show or something like that, or you know, stems or anything of that nature?
Yeah. Well, I think that sounds stems, something like that, or exclusive mixes, or some you know, some exclusive remixes. I've got loads of stuff knocking around that the Bandcamp won't let me put on, and you know, stuff you could give away. Yeah, definitely that could be cool.
I mean, that's how it works, Trav. I mean, I haven't even contacted most of the guys, but every single person could, like I say, tell me, oh yeah, of course. You know, I'll just take the samples out of the NFT that I made and give them attach that as a sample pack, or you know,
stuff like that. Yeah,
it's so easy. This is my thing that I find it so rewarding that you can give people this stuff we're all trying to make money, like I said, but it's for giving something that's worth the money. It's kind of like, yeah, man, take that. These beats have been made by Chris, and he's got this unique thing he does, this unique sound. Take him and make a track out of it. To me, that's a buzz. It's a real buzz because, or like, man, anyone, if I'm doing a gig anywhere in Russia, Italy, or Rome, and you're there, just knock me up. It's attached to the NFT. I'll put you on the guest list. Come and meet me. Merchandise. I do T-shirts. Anyone who's got an NFT, you get 20% off the merchandise.
I have to start teaching the venue staff about NFTs so they know how to look at when someone shows their NFT to get into the club.
Yeah, we can just.
They'll be like, "What's that?" They'll be like, "What's that on your phone? You're just playing someone's trap."
Yeah,
you're trying to blag some T-shirts.
Show me the MetaMask wallet, please.
Yeah. A name in a pen and paper called guest list works a lot easier, Trav. It's worked for years, mate. It's worked for years. I told you, I'm not really in the wheel.
Just ask for the wallet address instead of the name.
But yeah, also other things like the utilities. I'm really looking, doing a little Zoom session with someone, opening up the studio and writing a little beats with them or something like that to attach to one. And there's also the virtual headsets that you can have all the Pioneer equipment in there. So I can attach a DJ lesson to one. So if someone has got the virtual goggle, you can just give them a virtual gig. I can do a gig in their front room, back to back with Chris and Glenn. It's endless. We want to set up a virtual DJ agency. We can do that.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
Yeah, man. Honestly, this is what I want from it. And L Double's done it. He did actually message the other day, Trav. I don't know if you see it, about some streaming thing that he'd been looking into, and he shared with us a platform that we need to look at. And then I've got a mate in Berlin who does virtual DJ gigs where you record your set at a green screen, and then they put you in the clubs in Berlin, and you can go in there as an avatar and talk to all your mates, see all your mates in there, walk around the club. The sound system changes when you go from room or across the room. You can get all these drinks that make everything psychedelic and all effects on the sounds, and you can get your logo sticker and put it on the wall. It'll be in the club forever. People walk past and see your business card, and honestly, there's some mad stuff. And I want to take us and Metabeats into all of it, and not just as Metabeats, but I want access for all the guys to be able to do gigs on their own from stuff like this. Christ, I know for sure if I could suddenly cut my travelling around the world half to half by doing virtual DJ gigs, it's a no-brainer, man. I'm 6'6", getting old and sick of flying around the world.
I bet. Fucking hell.
So, man, we can do anything that's been done in the record industry, the music industry, we can do. I can talk to all the guys and say, right, everyone, just write me a beat and give me the samples. And we've got 54 beats, 54 different sets of drum sounds to make a drum sound pack that, someone can just win or get attached to an NFT, a special. It's endless, man. It's endless.
Yeah, there's no shortage of utility that we can offer for holders. So, yeah, I mean, our creativity is the only limiting factor there. Yeah, there's heaps we can do. So, Heather's asked a question, or in typical Heather style, she's asked a couple of questions formatted as a question. She says, you've had the opportunity to work with so many different acts, Prodigy, Nine Inch Nails, CR, and heaps more. So I'm curious, which of the artists that you've worked with was the most exciting for you and why? Glenn?
Well, that's a good one. I thought it was to Chris then. I was going to let him answer it for me. No.
So this is directed for Glenn.
Yeah. Well, I guess first and foremost, it has to be the Prodigy, because that was a real special situation that happened there. So that was that was huge. And then it's kind of like a bucket list of some of my favorite artists over the years, and Nine Inch Nails was there. The Sia one just sort of came about as a real early days when she first signed a deal to Go Beat in the UK. Did a club mix for them, so that was a little bit different. I didn't really know, she wasn't really that popular then, so that was a different one. But yeah, Nine Inch Nails and The Prodigy, and I did a Depeche Mode thing. They're big moments for me for sure.
Awesome.
Right on. And I guess, she follows up with which collaboration was the most challenging and rewarding experience?
Chris Carter, it has to be. Yeah, he was he was a nightmare. I mean, the stuff he wanted when he got to the studio. He was a real diva. Yeah, he was just like, oh, give me some beers, stuff like that. It was just a fucking nightmare. No, challenging. None of it's been challenging really. I've always had. I mean, I have done a few albums and collabs like with Chris. We did a track many years ago and we just never finished it. So there's stuff sat there. I don't know if you remember that one.
I do.
Yeah, there's some great ideas there and stuff. We'll come back to it one day, but
it's dusting off.
Dust it off the hard drive somewhere.
Yeah.
But all the other ones, with whether it be a rapper or a singer or producer, it's just been loads of fun. I really enjoy that stuff. Yeah. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. So I've seen on your Instagram, there's a lot of mention of Crystal Method Studio.
Yeah, I co-produced their last album, not the album that's just come out. I've done a track on there and a little bit of work on some of the other tracks, but I co-produced the Trip Home, which is the album back in 2017. So I went over there quite a few times. I did a little tour with Scott. He supported Tool, which was quite a crazy one on a stadium tour, so that was mental. And so I went with him on that, and then co-produced the album, which was amazing because I've been a fan of theirs for many years, and with him and Ken, we were really good friends. And Ken retired, so Scott sort of needed a little bit of help, I think, and I just happened to be on a trip in LA and popped by the studio and I was like, help me. So I jumped in and helped him, and we've done some. I'm really proud of that album. It's a really cool album, and he's done some bits on my latest album, my last album, sorry, Unified Forms, and we're always doing bits together and stuff. So he's one of my good buddies for sure.
Yeah. And I see that you're a bit of a gearhead. Do you have like a favorite bit of tech that you like? I mean, I see some modular synths and plenty of key synths that you've posted photos of.
There's too many. When I go in the studio, I look around, I look at all the keyboards. I'm like, oh geez, I've got to get rid of some of this stuff. No, I do love it, and there's loads of great analog synths and whatnot. And the modular thing I've not really gotten into because I just think it would be a bit of a minefield. But I think these days I'm more into the sort of sonics of stuff. So I'm quite obsessive about, converters and compressors, analog compressors and whatnot, and the SSL stuff. And I'm getting a bit geeky on that at the moment. But finding the balance of really good outboard and really good plugins is my thing at the moment.
What are you like on that, Chris? Have you got loads of synths and tech stuff, have you?
Not really, no. I mean, I've got a few bits and bobs, but they're more just kind of like quirky things that I've acquired along the way, and I'm not really a gearhead at all. Yeah. And I quite like the idea that anything can sound good and you can get a result out of anything at all. And obviously, if you buy a beautiful piece of vintage kit, you go out and buy an original MS-20 or something, and you think, wow, this is an antique. The age that it is now, it's literally an antique, but it's also an amazing sound design tool and a musical instrument, and a landmark. In terms of the results that people could get from this. But to be honest, me personally, I know that I can get the same sort of results out of a bit of software. So and I understand that people enjoy owning these things and using these things, and I totally respect that. But for me personally, I'm just as happy using any old thing, cheap and nasty, hardware, software, whatever it is. And if I can, I think I quite like things which are a bit lo-fi maybe, and a little bit. I like to sort of transform the sound of things. Take something which sounds like nothing, but by the time you've processed it and tweaked it and worked on it, it becomes something interesting. And rather than say, "Wow, that sounds like a Juno," that's amazing. You're like, what is that? You know, like I can't even really put my finger on what that is.
Yeah.
So, plus, anytime I've got any money, I spend it on records straight away. So, and that's been my problem all my life. If I've got any money, spend it on records, and then
many a time
left.
down the pub, isn't it? You sat there on eBay going, "Oh shit, I've got to get this record," and then
Yeah.
5 pints in, you end up bidding 500 quid on a 7-inch. I'm like, Chris, what have you done? Jesus,
that's the thing. Yeah, easily done.
That's what we're doing with the NFTs. To be fair, you know, a bit like I always say to all the others, it's like the white labels. You know, you're making 1,000 white labels to put out there. If it's big in the clubs, it's going to be more valuable, more people want it, it becomes more collectible, goes up in price, there's less of them in the world. So, in a way, that's kind of what we're doing with the NFTs. It's 1,000 drop, you know, making, apart from each one is going to be one of one, totally original, so it's even rarer. So it's exciting. The same for me. It's the same way as we did then. You know? I find that pretty cool.
very cool. Yeah, limited edition white labels. I like it a lot.
It's very similar. You know what I mean? It's kind of even more so. There's only one of each track. You know, with I was the same as you guys. I got into NFTs through art and totally sort of I could totally understand that principle of it. And then when it come to music, it took a little bit around. Am I going to make this concept the same? But by doing it of one, and each bit actually being a piece of musical art, where there's only one of them in the world, it's pretty much the same sort of principles of one-off bit of art, really. You know, I think that's. Yeah. I mean, you know, obviously I followed Adamski around forever. I sort of, for me to think of like, man, I can own one of his tracks and no one else has got it. That makes me buzz. But I'm a collector. I've always been that sort of stuff. So that kind of like blows my mind, the fact that I can have tracks and no one else has got it.
Just on that, Leroy, in future, will there be collections where it's not all one of one? Like, will there be like X amount of a particular track available?
Again, I think that's down to community and artist decisions. You know, if the guys wanted to do an EP that's a whole track and put it out as an NFT through the platform or whatever, then, you know, I think that's an option that's definitely there. But again, like I said, anything you can think of, do. But I don't want to think. I think the roadmap and that would shape itself. I think people in the community would say, "Oh man, you know, if there's a demand for people to buy music, whole tracks," and one of the artists says to me, "Oh man, people keep asking me to put my next single out as an NFT. Any advice? What do you think I should do with it?" Then that's there to be done, you know, and helped. But yeah, I didn't, like I said, I just didn't want to play the normal game of, this is a new EP. Oh, what am I going to do about PRS? What am I going to do about PPL? Signed to a publishing. It was kind of too many external influences to think about. But yeah, if guys want to release music as NFTs, right, there's 100 or 1,000 copies. Because that's what a lot of the music NFTs are. People are like, track, you know, and that's all there's going to be. So it's up to people to do that. I think if you want to do limited runs of certain bits of music and stuff, I think it's kind of a cool idea. But it's still scary for me to try and do that. Write music, it's kind of. But if I'm writing it and putting it in here, and I feel like, you know, there's a community that I can reach, an audience, then it's a whole different story, you know, if there's demand for it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all the questions that we had in the queue today. Yeah, and here we are at the top of the hour. Did you guys have any closing remarks?
I'd just like to say I'm happy to be involved. I'm happy to see where it goes. You know, excited to be possibility of all the things we talked about, working in different formats, potential collaborations, and the fact that it's different and it's fresh, and it can sort of complement all of the other ways of working that are still there. But I think having a different outlet has got to be a good thing.
Yeah, well said, man. It's stimulating to have things and new outlets, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't always have to work in the same way, because if you're always in the same pattern, it can become a bit of a routine, and you fall into that pattern. And breaking out of that kind of keeps your mind alert, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think getting out of your comfort zone helps, doesn't it? Sometimes not really knowing what it's about is exciting as well, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's how we've always been in it. You know, you never knew when you go into a club, you never know what the crowd's going to be like if it's a venue, and you still got to win them over. And you know, that's part of being in the business, is being hungry to try new things. I think, especially when it's a new medium and a new platform, you want to get involved in so many different things, but sometimes you just got to say, right, I'm going to give it a go, see what happens from it. You know, and the thing that's really nice for me is there's so many of you are so cool, and we know each other and connected, go back with mates and all that, and that's really important to me, to be honest. There are a few of the other I really don't know who I can't even communicate with. And I think, oh man, you know what I mean? I'm glad that the English crew and the old school people that I know, because there's a few guys that I think, mate, you need to step up the game a bit and start getting involved a bit, because this is what I want. I want it, you know, for you to have brought Chris on board, Glenn, you know, and for Jim to have spoken. We're all connected. We've always crossed paths, all of us, over the past and everything. So that's the ideal setup for me, having all my mates and people that are up for a buzz and doing stuff, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, exciting times, guys, and I'm so pleased that you're on board, and can't thank you enough for even, you know, for taking time to come in, chat stories. To me, this is really entertaining, fun place to listen to whatever it's done, because we haven't even touched on naughty stories or anything.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the holders.
Man, it could go on forever, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? There's 54 of us. If I interview one person every week, that's a year's worth of chats. You know, so, man, and I'm sure we'll do more than that. And like I said, anything you've got going on, let us know. Always feel free if you've got any questions. Trav's always around you guys, so you can always get help if you need to put anything anywhere to advertise, like we said in here. But feel free to use the group and engage with everyone and enjoy it, most of all, you know.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
Definitely chuck some stuff in the artist feed channel, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely have some things coming your way soon that would be nice to share.
Cool. And I'll actually give you a little shout, Chris, because I've done your avatars now, so I'll give you a little phone call, give you a little glimpse of what they look like. And
Right.
they're looking good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man, they're looking really good. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening. And, we'll speak soon.
Yeah, till the next time. Thanks, everyone, for listening. More amazing guests, amazing stories, amazing music to come. So have a good week. I'm off to Amsterdam tomorrow to get red eye. And I will be back. If I ever come back, I'll be back home. Back on AMAs again, June. Till then, stay safe.
Bye for now.
I'm out.